Yes, it's required not to wear flip-flops or shorts. But at the closing ceremony, we're going to present each of you a certificate of attendance. So that means you will get the certificate, and there will be a big photos at the background on PowerPoint. So today we're going to take the photos individually one by one. So you can use the break time like 10 o'clock to 10:10. And every 15 minutes we will have a short break, 10-minute break. And please go find Alex, and he will take the photos for you. As many as you like. Okay, just pick the one you like the best, and no charge at all. It's free. And we have professional photography for you, and no charge. The best thing in Taiwan. Alright, so now let's welcome Philip, our master.
I don't have master. You say master, I say master. That was in a previous life. Okay, all of you know who I am. I just want to say I am a foreign English teacher at Shinfeng Gotong Junior High School in Singshan County. My co-teachers say that Shinfeng is a countryside little village. I don't exactly agree with that, because for me countryside is up in the mountains, rivers and vegetation, all that. So it's kind of semi, but I will go with what my co-teachers are saying. So it's a countryside little village. And the students I have at the school are of such that whenever the grade 7s come to my school, they can hardly put 4 or 5 words together in a sentence. I'm talking at junior high school level. So maybe it is a countryside town. Okay. The big problem that my school is experiencing is that a lot of the students, more specifically your top achievers, excuse me, are going down to the cities. The parents believe that they can get a better education over there. I don't always agree with that. So I always believe that the students in my school are little diamonds. And we just need to polish them up a little bit more. And I do believe that many of them become better students, better performers, than those students that will often go to the city schools. So it's all about what do you do. The students I have at my school, the socio-economic background is middle to low. So again, most of your top achievers will be going to the city. So those are little challenges that I have. Do I want to be at any other school with any other students? No. I absolutely adore my students. I don't know if they think the same with me, but this is where I am. And I'm going to share with you today just some of the experiences about being a foreign English teacher in a junior high school in a countryside town. So this is my background, just to give you a bit of an idea of who I am. In South Africa, we have 11 official languages. And although I'm trained to teach English, my background was African languages. So in total I can speak 5 of the 11 official languages in South Africa. And that's when I went to East London, I went to go and teach Xhosa. That's one of the languages we have in South Africa, and that's Nelson Mandela's, well, former Nelson Mandela's mother tongue. So African languages was my forte. I speak a bit of it still, because I've been out of practice for many years. But when I say African languages, I'm also saying African language linguistics. Okay? So I've taught for over 30 years. I've taught at most school levels, from upper elementary, junior high, senior high schools, and then teachers' colleges and universities. So I've been right across the whole spectrum of education. So it's from those schools, that background, that I've been able to pick up a lot of my experience. And then there was a time in South Africa when I got actually a bit frustrated, and I decided to establish my own language consultancy, similar to a Bushibana cram school. And I did that for about 15 to 20 years. Made a lot of money, but then I thought to myself, but money's not everything in life. I got a bit bored. And 10 years ago, if any of you had said to me, but you'll be a teacher again one day, in a school with students, I would have said you were crazy. Well, here I am now today, And this is possibly the happiest time of my life. Yes, every chapter in my life has been happy, but now I just feel that there is purpose, there's fulfillment, and I hope that what I'm experiencing, you're going to be experiencing as well in Taiwan. I just wanted to mention, I've done a bit of research on pronunciation. So I know everything about phonetics or phonics and phonology, but I don't teach it. I don't want to teach it. So if you want to teach it, you're welcome. Okay? And then also I've written numerous school textbooks as well, specifically for the African languages in South Africa. Now, in essence, I'm a teacher. So who am I? That's who I am. That's what I do. And I'd like you to read that, because it gives you an insight into who and what I am, because maybe later on I'm going to ask, what about you? Are you a teacher? What makes you a teacher? Okay? That's who I am. And this is going to be my preamble for everything that I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, so enjoy the ride. What are we going to do? Okay, well, we're going to be looking at, I believe, Taiwan students' biggest challenges. It's about the vocabulary, but in the vocabulary means the sentences. Okay, because students just struggle with that. We heard yesterday about when Professor Vincent said Mandarin is not the same as English yet, non-cognate languages. I agree with that. Okay, but there's ways that we can go around and try to make it easier for our students. So we're going to look at lesson design and techniques, learning styles, activities, and then we're going to have a wrap up. But most of all, I think for today it's about learning and sharing. If there's something you want to comment on, you don't agree with, please at all times talk to me and share your ideas so that we can all walk out enriched and become better teachers at the end of this week. So it's up to you as well. Please, I welcome it. Now, your first activity. You'll see I've given you a mother. That's one of my lovely naughty students, mischievous students. It's grade 8. His name is Hank. So in your groups, I would like you to look at that and think of an activity. Be it junior high school, elementary school, doesn't matter. What activity would you put around that? I'll give you 3 to 4 minutes, or maybe 5 minutes. What activity can you design around that particular slide? And we're going to take it from there. Okay, give you 5 minutes. Now I'm taking you out of your comfort zone now. Absolutely out of your comfort zone. Think about it.
So maybe they'll all have different textbooks for every different class. And then I'll do 30 lessons times 3. That's going to be good.
Okay, right. Decide in your group who's going to be the spokesperson. And there's no right, there's no wrong. Just want to get ideas from you. Then I'm going to share an idea that I did with my students. I just want to say that everything I'm doing with you today is tried and tested. Okay, so I'm not giving you something that's novel. It's stuff that I've seen that works and makes students really feel excited. Okay, so who's the spokesperson here? Who's the spokesperson? Laura, it looks like you.
Well, you said we could choose maybe elementary activity.
Up to you.
Okay, well we all had various ideas.
Good.
So we didn't quite get to a unanimous decision, so I'll just share my idea. What did Han do yesterday? I would probably, it's very open-ended, you could do anything really, but I would perhaps have different pictures of different activities that would be relevant to the younger children. And get them to, because I mean he's smiling there. So, yeah, well you could ask them what would make you smile, and then you have the different activities, get them talking about it.
Okay.
Vocabulary in that as well.
So definitely very open-ended.
Yes.
Okay, good. Anyone else in the group? Anyone?
Like, I prefer to give the students some kind of visual aids. So I will do, like for the activity-wise, I probably also, into two different sets, like the activity you did at home or the activity you did, in school, and then give them maybe matching with the time, that kind of thing. So when they pick up, like let's say math class, 9 o'clock, pick it up and then put it in sentence. I have math class that's in 9 o'clock yesterday or something, doing different things. But they need something, touching, and some kind of visual things.
It's a very important point.
Yeah.
Okay, something tactile, something to feel, to touch.
Yeah, because they will go plan. If you get everything and just ask the question like this, starting with one question is really, really difficult for my students. Like usually I would break it down, like what they can do yesterday, they will plan. And then, if they couldn't answer anything, then you probably just get them pick and choose. Because they know those words, but it's just, right in that moment, it's so hard for them just to grab the right word to tell you, and give you the right answer. And because it's this grammar thing that can be taught, just impact their mind. They were so afraid to tell you and put that in words. So I will do like either or. Okay, so did you play basketball or or football yesterday? And then when they hear the familiar word, they probably will answer. They will give you like one word answer, and if you don't feel more comfortable, they will tell you the whole sentence. So that's just my approach to my kids if they couldn't,
Okay. Thank you.
Just from your idea of something tactile is you could walk in and say nothing with a basketball and start bouncing it. Say, what did Frank do, or what did Hank do yesterday? And then,
So you want reality, you want real life, real world objects. Okay. Anyone else? Sure. Okay. Okay.
What I used to do in junior high was have a PowerPoint to work through the vocabulary of things they could possibly have done yesterday, and have a short conversation that work through, and then play a game. And they have to tell me what they did yesterday before they can take their
That could be a wrap-up, you know, for the end of the lesson. This group, okay.
So we had a few ideas. So because the question is phrased this way, like what did Hank do yesterday, we were thinking to pair them off, and they would say what their partner did. So yesterday Hank did this, Hank did that, etc., etc. And they can be in front of the classroom, and while he's saying Hank did this and Hank did that, Hank can act it out. Since he likes to misbehave and have all the attention, he'll probably enjoy being in front of the class and everyone looking at him. And then once his partner's done, Hank can take the Hank and Steve and say what his partner did, and his partner can act it out. Things like that.
I like that. Definitely talk with Hank. Keep him busy. Okay. Anyone else in the group? Anyone? Anyone else?
That was our consensus.
Okay, good. I like that. Thank you. Who uses right, Zach?
We talked about a couple of different focuses for a lesson we could go off of. So we talked about like sequencing events, and then to like build off of that, you could go off of your schedule of what the day was. So yesterday, if he was in school, you would talk about, okay, the first thing we did when we did at school was this, and you go through your whole schedule and sequence it. And then we talked about action verbs that you could go off of. So like really focusing on what the action was that we did yesterday. And then go through transitions, like ways to connect sentences and using those transition words to go through what you did yesterday.
Have you been to one of my workshops before? No? Great. I think overall, very good ideas, because you're going to be faced with those situations where you have to think on the spur of the moment what are you going to be doing, okay? So I'm going to give you something which I can just it's an activity I did, and what I did was I always like to keep the students curious, wondering what is next, and they always know that I'm going to ambush them with something. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this, and Zach mentioned a very important word, sequence. So I'd like you to take out whatever is in those envelopes, and as a group, sequence those events. I have some other people who are involved at the back of the class, so Annie, can I give you also? There you go. Would you like some as well? You already have that. Have you seen this activity? Okay. Annie, we want the fan off. Can we turn the fan off? I've never thought about that before. I've never experienced that.
Oh yeah, okay, there you go. That's genius. This is new. That's cafeteria. This could be lunch at school. He said there are illegal
Let me give you another 20 seconds. You're going to be quite busy with these things today. Okay, let me show you. I got this off the internet. I love to surf the internet for anything to do with English teaching and learning. And just a tip for you, if you're looking for something on the internet, always just type in the beginning ESL. And then you'll find something related to English teaching and learning. Well, this is what I got off the internet. Before I show you, whenever I see something new, I always ask myself, what are the different layers? Like an onion. How deep can I go with this activity? And if you think about it, you can actually go quite far with it. So this is what I got off the internet. See how you compare. See how you compare. Remember, there's no right, there's no wrong. I mean, every person has a different schedule. But what questions can you ask from it? Sherman, for instance, okay?
You can ask them like, what, okay, would you take a shower in the morning, or would you take a shower at night? So maybe it changes for...
Great. But Sherman, yes, it's similar to that. But Sherman, what question would you ask?
Where is he from?
Where's he from? Okay.
If he's from Taiwan, he takes a shower at night.
Yeah.
He takes a shower in the morning.
And if you're South African, morning and evening. Yeah. That's why we don't have much water. But, okay. Any new vocabulary there that you think the students might be unfamiliar with? Brilliant, Siri. So whenever you're thinking of something, look at the big picture. Okay? Grammar, simple past tense. I don't teach grammar. I have never taught a grammar lesson. But I always make sure that whatever activity I'm doing, what can I get out of this without teaching grammar? Okay? I don't know if your schools are going to require from you that you have to teach grammar. I hope not. But I don't teach grammar. I'm told my co-teachers. I'm not going to do it, you do it. You're teaching grammar all day long. Okay? I don't teach grammar. Right, okay. So, vocabulary and sentences. You have a bit of background. By the way, you're going to see my email address at the end of this session today. I have tons and tons and tons of activities. If you need anything, or if you want to quiz me on something, send me an email. I can send you what I've got, or I can give you ideas. Even if you think you've got better ideas, please share them with me as well. Okay, and everyone else. So let's look at vocabulary and sentences, because I know some of you do not have a language teaching background. Can I just get a show of hands who are not trained to be language teachers? Good, okay? Don't be shy, don't be shy. Okay, right? Okay, 2 people. So the rest are all trained language teachers. Okay, right? I like that. Okay. For everyone. Okay, what is vocabulary? Well, it refers to words, and I consider the words as the building blocks of a language, okay? Of a sentence. And we use to communicate in oral as well as print language. Now, a sentence refers to putting words in a grammatically correct sentence. So it's like a jigsaw puzzle. But I have a problem with that word correct. I don't know about you, and I think Peter mentioned it yesterday. I struggle to speak perfectly correct English. My mother really enjoys teasing me about my English sometimes. Now, how can we expect our own students to be speaking correct English? I'm just excited to hear something come out of their mouths, okay? I rather want to focus on intelligible English. understandable English. Okay, so please don't put pressure on them, and definitely don't put pressure on yourself. So that in essence is what vocabulary sentences are about, because I feel that these are the biggest challenges that our students are experiencing today in Taiwan with the learning of English. So what I want to do is I want to give you an easy step-by-step guide, and normally I like to work with a plan, okay? If I don't have a plan, then I often feel that even my own house is going to fall down on top of my head like this chap as well. So I'm going to give you an easy step-by-step guide, a plan that you can consider. Maybe you have a better one, that's entirely up to you, okay? But these, I'm sharing ideas with you. But before we get to this guide, what are the basic principles that I often like to think about and work with before I plan anything? Well, first of all, English is no longer a school subject. It's not a school subject. It's a core skill. A core skill needed by, if not everyone, in this world today. It's about what can you do with English. Because often in our schools in Taiwan and many other parts of the world as well, we're teaching our students grammar. Grammar doesn't save the world. Think about it. Creativity saves the world. Okay? Grammar definitely is not going to do it. So for me, it's not a school subject, it's a core skill. This is something I want to instill in the students. I always believe, take the students from the known to the unknown. Okay, we're going to talk a lot more about that just now. Develop the 4 language skills. That's going to be your primary job. The question is how? Focus on authentic language and materials. When I'm talking of authentic language, I'm not having the students do drilling, okay, or grammatical rules, or say the following after me. I don't believe in memorizing. Okay, I want them to get stuck into an activity and we'll see what jumps out of that. Authentic materials. I look at the textbooks, but I design all my materials. So if you look in your manual, you'll see that everything that's under my section is everything that I have designed myself. So authentic, real, coming from you. Vary your teaching resources, the materials that you're going to design, and the aids. Yes, Daniel?
Yeah, authentic language is a great idea. When I was at Ishin Elementary School, though, they had set vocabulary and oh, right.
Sorry, that's for the video over there. Sorry, Daniel.
Yeah.
Just hang on.
When I was at Ishin Elementary School, they had a set vocabulary from the textbook. So the teacher said, this is a textbook, these are the exact verbs and nouns you're going to use. So I had to focus on those. So sometimes maybe I would sacrifice authenticity for the textbook. So how do you go about with that compromise in your situation?
Okay, let me start from the very beginning. What you asked now is, well, I was going to talk about it later on, but let me do it now, let me get it out of the way. I arrived at my school by default. There was another foreign English teacher before me who survived for about 3 months, but she wasn't very successful. I'm not sure what the problems were, but anyway, they told her to go, which is something you don't often hear of. Okay, so understand, she was possibly the worst of the worst. I only met her once, and that's it. Okay, so I arrived at a school, and it's the first time my school has ever had a foreign English teacher. And they are watching me like a hawk. And I'm experienced, I know how to teach and things like that. And I thought, this is very strange. This is what they do in Taiwan. Is this how they make you feel welcome? I never had an orientation week. I had nothing. I just arrived at the school, and my head of English, who's a wonderful person today, but at that time, she was a real dragon for the first 2 weeks. And I thought to myself, well, if this carries on for a month, I'm going to also think about packing my bags and going. But then I understood that there was this foreign English teacher that was not successful, so they were wary of me. And after a month, I mean, things were great. Absolutely great. But what I did right from the very beginning was, again, with my experience, I asked all the members of the English department to get together as well as the director of the academic office, sit down, tell me what you want. Okay? Well, I didn't kind of have a plan. So I thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity, and I told them what I can do. So, Daniel, I'm going to answer your question two ways. The first, in my case, I do what I want to do. They see I do my job. They see that I do it relatively effectively. So they don't bother me. Okay? But if there is something specific that they want me to do, which is not grammar, then I will do it. And I develop my own lesson materials around what they want. I talked yesterday about the textbooks, okay? There's issues with the textbooks which I have, okay? Which can be improved on. So I develop my own materials. Mostly based on what I do, okay, what I think is appropriate, coming out of the textbooks, okay? But then I also listen to what my colleagues, my co-teachers are asking as well. Does that answer your question?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And this, when we have this list of how many words students must learn in a year, I mean, I times that by 5. Okay, I give them a whole lot more. Okay, so I mean, a mother bringing up a baby, you know, you're not going to come up with a list of nouns and verbs and adjectives and things you're going to do in the daytime. You just talk. Okay, we want our students to communicate. That's the bottom line. Okay, so when I design my materials, okay, it's a bit of a thumbs up. Okay, so I look at what's in the textbooks, and I have to think of the process. So I look at the textbook for grade 8 or 9 or whatever, and if the students are doing that particular lesson, I will look at what is the topic and what is the theme. So what is the difference between the topic and the theme? Anyone? Many people use it interchangeably. What is the topic and what is the theme? Emma? I think sometimes want to throw this video away.
So a theme is just a very broad kind of one thing that you're teaching, and then it has many topics underneath it. So for example, I taught in the US kind of like change and continuity. That was the theme. But then we talked about when you're younger, when you grow up. We talked about careers. Like each of those were separate topics that we talked about under the one umbrella theme.
Anyone else? Everyone agree? Disagree? I agree with you, but I want to reverse the roles. Okay. So your topic is your overriding idea. A topic is 1 or 2 words. Pollution. Food waste. That's your topic, the overriding umbrella idea. Your theme, you can have themes. You mentioned topics. You have themes. Those are the embedded messages you want to share with your students that you can take out of that lesson. As I said to you, when I design something, I'm looking at the different levels, the different layers that I can get out of this activity. Okay? Thursday you can see one particular lesson that Lena and I are going to do. Okay? So the topic, okay, overriding message, theme, the embedded message that you want to share with your students. For me, it's about values, and it's about life. I want to share with my students everything, or as much as possible, about life. Remember, I've got junior high school students. Okay? So, topic and theme. From the topic and theme, I want to look at the content. What's going on in that textbook? Okay? And what can I take out of it that I can do differently, that I can change, make it more exciting, usable for the students? And the outcomes. What are the things that I want the students to demonstrate at the end of that lesson? And very importantly, Professor Vincent yesterday talked about our new curriculum, the new K-12 curriculum, which I think is a very, very good piece of work. We talk of the 9 core competencies. Those are the skills. What are the skills that we want our students to walk away with as well? Okay? So you don't have to think them up. You can quickly go to the new curriculum. You can find them there. Very, very good. Okay. Right. Time frame. Now, your schools will tell you how long you can teach a particular lesson for. Some schools will say, no, you've got to be in line with what we are doing. So one lesson will be 2 weeks. Nowadays it's going to be 3 weeks. Okay, with a new curriculum. Okay, my school says, do as long as you like. So some of my lessons are 4 to 5 to 6, 7 weeks long. Central County, where I am, they have said, go to 6 or 7 weeks. Okay? So that means I can get more out of that lesson. Because often you find if they're very short lessons, you're going from one topic to the next, and these students haven't even taken in the vocabulary from the previous lesson. You understand? So I like to extend it. Again, when you're with your new school, ask them, what do you want from me? And what can you do for them? And suggest how you can do it with them. Okay? See if they take it or not. Okay. Right. What are your students required to do? I talked about it earlier on. 4 language skills. Just help me quickly. What is this one? Listening. What's the most important skill? Listening. Are you sure? You're correct. Okay? But now, on any normal day, what percent are you using for listening, speaking, reading, writing? Which is the one that you use most frequently? Let's start off with, which is the one you use most frequently? School reading, okay, maybe in only schools, yes. What else? Speaking? You're not sure? Let me help you. The one that is least used, writing. I remember I asked you, what is it that you do in the day? Reading, okay. Speaking, 30%. Listening, 45%. Now, in a typical school English classroom in Taiwan, you probably know that, right? Okay? Because first of all, they are not hearing English from the co-teachers. They are hearing mostly Chinese. Okay? So they only get to hear English in my class. Okay? So whenever I'm designing activities, I want to make sure that listening is right up top there. Okay? Then they do the speaking, and then they will do the reading to reinforce language learning skills, and then they're going to do a bit of writing as well. And I'll show you later on how we do the writing. But the output, that is the most challenging. Okay, so that's the area that we need to focus on. Okay? So, we have time. Okay, icebreaker. Okay, introduction. That's how I will start one of my lessons. What is the topic? Weather. What country? Okay, that's what I do with my students. Okay? I ask the students, how is the weather today? Okay? So I can extend it. That's my icebreaker. Short and sweet. Okay? I don't know if, by the way, when we're finished with this, you're welcome to get your USBs and copy down whatever I'm showing you, or otherwise you can take photos. It's entirely up to you. I have no problem with that. This is no copyright as far as I know. Okay? Right, okay, so there's a very important website for you to make word clouds. Okay? Right, so that group, I want you to think of an introduction on superheroes. This group, sorry, grade 8, this group, what did you do during your summer vacation? That's one of the lessons coming up for grade 8. And then grade 9, cuisines. Introduction. I'll give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Just go back. What introduction will you have? What icebreaker? Okay, your comfort zone here.
I've taught a high school class basically.
That's what I was thinking, like stations. Yeah. You can have pictures of each station. Yeah. I was also thinking like this would let you could like roll in with like a beach towel and shades and shorts.
Like Coke brand style. They do little cards. I never did.
Okay, now I'm going to ask someone that has not spoken to tell me something about your icebreaker. Okay, we'll give it start off with this group. Okay, right, okay. Chris, you want to talk? You are grade 7 superheroes.
Okay, so we basically said we can start like showing them a video of a small clip of superheroes like bouncing or something. Then we ask them what's the theme going to be, and then they can say superheroes. Then we thought of putting pictures of different superheroes like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man with English names and asking them put the names next to the picture. And then we can give them opportunity to make their own superhero and say, okay, I'm going to be this superhero, this is what my ability is going to be.
Good. Okay, good. Well done. Anyone else in that group? Okay, can you just pass on the mic there? And grade 8, you would like to talk. Come on. Just break it down.
We talked about kind of having like a little mystery bag where you can start pulling out like a pair of flip-flops and maybe like a thing of sunscreen and some sunglasses, and then being like, what do you think we're going to talk about today? And having them guess like different things, and when we get to summer vacation, be like, oh, on my summer vacation, I went to the beach.
Okay.
What did you do on your summer vacation? And then having them practice what they did. I mean, at least extended it to maybe having like a little mini homework that they could go home and then bring in a picture or like an object of something they did. And then even just like an exit slip before they go to practice that language again. Being like, and what did you do during your summer vacation? And they have to say, I went to the beach, or I went to see grandma, something like that.
That's a complete lesson. Well done. Okay, no, because sometimes my icebreaker does become a complete lesson. Okay, so it's an extension of it.
And we thought the little mini homework would be good because then it would be not just something like icebreakers are great, but then it's something that they would think about kind of like the whole day and then come back the next day and do like a little review and then we move on to the next one.
Okay. see Sarah showing me 5 minutes, but I'm going to ask if I can keep you for another 10 minutes because I want to show you what I've done. Is that okay with everyone? Okay, right? And then grade, sorry, is anyone else in the grade 8 group? No one? Great, well done. Okay, grade 9, who would like to talk that's not spoken? Or I think, oh, right, sure, there you go. Lawrence, you pointed you.
Okay, we were thinking give them a menu in Chinese. And ask them, so how do we say this in English? And work from foods that are very familiar to them. Pig's blood cake, which is, or stinky tofu, which is very, very normal to them. But it's very put-offish to foreigners. And work with cultural differences that way as it relates to the menu.
Okay, I like that idea. Okay, you've done this with experience, I see. Okay, let me show you very quickly, because my boss at the back has told me my time is limited. Okay, what could I do? Okay, so for the grade 7s, I want you to do very quickly. Think and write down on your whiteboard or on a piece of paper 15 things that are super in front of it. I'm going to give you just 1 minute. 1 minute. When I say stop, stop, and put down your pens. Okay. Anything with super in front of it. And you'll be surprised at what the grade 7s can do with this. Seconds. 10 seconds. Pressure. I love giving my students pressure. Nothing is easy in life. Right, stop. Put down your pens. Okay, quickly tally up in your group what you have. Okay, you cannot repeat a word. Quickly tally up. Okay, are you done? Okay, let me ask now this group. How many words do you have? About 10. How many does your group have, Leslie? 9. Fabian, how many words does your group have?
About 10.
10, okay. I'm going to ask this group to read off your words. You cannot repeat. Remember I said to you listening skills? You cannot repeat what they say. Okay, right. Me.
Alright, we have super ball, super name, super market, super power, super woman.
Can I repeat?
Super speed, super highway.
Super time, super fun, super kids.
I'll just make up words. Super time, super fun. Right? Okay? Let's give it to Andy. I see he's ready.
Did you say superhero?
No.
Good. Okay?
Superhero, superstar, superstitious, supernatural, supersize, supervisor.
Brilliant. Now, pressure's on you guys. Repeat.
Superpowers.
Are you listening?
Superpower, super duper, super soaker, super store,
Good. Great.
supersonic,
Super. Well done.
super sexy.
I'll remember that when I go home. Right? Okay. This is what. Okay. So this is how I work with my students because I love putting pressure on, and they get so excited. There's that competitive spirit about them as well. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with using a dictionary as well. Okay. Think about that. That's one of your aids. Right, so supermarket, super rich, superpower, super city, superwoman, superstar, superman, superstitious, supercomputer, super glue, super fast, superhero, superb, superior. Right, okay. and tested, great fun. Now, with the grade 8s, okay, what I do is I walk around the class and I give each student a sticker, paper. And then, yesterday we talked about differentiated learning. I give each student in a group, and I always work with groups, And I will give 1, 2, 3, 5 students in a group. Student number 1, often the weakest. Okay, number 2, and then by number 5, often the student who's the top achiever. Okay, my lazy students, I like to put them up top there as well, because they don't have to work double as hard. Okay. So I say to them, write one word about your summification and write it down, a noun, okay? And then I would, they've done that, and I say to them, right, I want you now, I'm going to call out a number, I want you to run up to the board, put your sticker on the chalkboard, but make sure that you're not repeating what anyone else has done. So they're having to check, they're having to read as well. So often I would start off with student number 1, student number 2, okay, because it will be challenging for them. I don't want to embarrass them or knock their confidence anything. So they run up. And then student number 3, number 4, and then student number 5, often the top achiever. I mean, you can already see that, you know, they've got no more words to think about, okay? So they run up, they've got to check, and then they put their words up on the board. So all these stickers are up on the board. And then I take 5 or 6 randomly off for each group. I have a whiteboard in front of them at each group. And I say to them, you have these words, remember they were randomly chosen by me, I just put them on any table. And I say, make a sentence about that person's summification using those nouns. Now often it will be the top achiever who takes the marker and starts writing. I often put the marker at the laziest or the naughtiest student. He or she, often the he, must do the writing. The others will guide. Okay? That is what I would do with the grade 8s. I'm going to be doing it very soon. And lastly, cuisines. Okay? I'm going to test all of you here. What is the origin of, what's that? Where's it from? Well done. Okay, Hamburg. Okay, it's not American. Americans perfected it. But it's right, what is that? Well done. Modern day sushi, Japan, but originally from China. Okay? China. Okay. Belgium, well done. Okay. It's not American, and you didn't perfect that either. Come to South Africa for brilliant French fries. Okay. Well done. China. Yeah. The Brits perfected it, by the way. They added the tomato to it. Germany. Yeah. Frankfurt. Okay. Americans again perfected it. What's that? China. No, China. Good. Well done. Now, I just want to mention, a lot of your students, they say kiwi, okay? That's a kiwi bird. What is a kiwi? A New Zealander, okay? Kiwi fruit, kiwi bird, the kiwi is the New Zealander. And at that, we will take a break for 10 minutes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so those who would like to take a photos, you can go find Alex now. Anyone? Take photos? Yeah, okay. Let's go outside. If you need to draw, the bra area. brush or makeup, just come to me. Yeah, you take photo.
Things that are
Well, I mean, and that's when I it's like, that's not my, that's not my grade. I have friends that are grade, that's not my grade.
Yeah?
What up?
Okay. My turn.
And also gonna what they all boy, man. So we kind of guide each other as well, you know, they figure it out for themselves. That's really interesting.
Oh no, I'm just gonna.
Then it's fine, it's fine. I'm old school. I like to have it. style. You can see if you were teaching at the table, watch the students like pick up the things like the pages. I don't know how it works. How is this? So I was trying to make everything too. We've got blended learning, which brings me.
It's the same style magic sword guys. Argent. He died in the end of the last he got eaten by spiders. Giant spiders. It's kind of a sad movie. No, he got killed by a dog, half dog. Oh, I used it.
So the teacher comes in and normally like on which place? And you know, because I did events on my there.
Anthony that...
5, 4.
Thank you. There's an experienced teacher. That teaching is an art. And thankfully I'm not a great artist, but I've learned how to teach. And it's been an acquired skill for me. And I believe everyone in this world is creative. So the better the artist you are, through practice, the better your artwork becomes. Teaching is an art. And we have the best profession in the world. So let us give it status. And let's show the people why it's the best. Now, I believe, and I want to go on to the next part here now, that you can even teach your Taiwanese students Einstein's gravitational law in English. I believe that. I have done it. I have done it. And I was listening to Professor Vincent yesterday. Now we're going to talk a lot more about it Thursday. But this is your most important component of teaching. Now, pre-teaching is introducing new vocabulary at the beginning of your lesson, but I still like to consider it as scaffolding. We're going to talk a bit more about scaffolding just now. You can teach anything in English, provided your scaffold support techniques are in order, are in place. I know it, I do it myself. I keep on saying, I teach students at a countryside school. They're not city kids. So the English that they hear is very minimal, except coming from me. But I do this with them through scaffolding. And if there's anything that you could walk away with from this session today, it's about scaffolding. Okay? So, what is scaffolding? Okay, well, there it is. Okay, support structures to help your students acquire whatever you're teaching them. So, we take the students from the known. What is it that they can do? What is it that they know? Because ultimately, you want to take them to what I call the new knowledge. It is not the knowledge you are teaching them. It is not the content you are teaching them. It is the new knowledge that they are able to construct, that they are able to discover out of that content that you want to teach them. That is the new knowledge. Knowledge is what we teach each other. But what is the new knowledge? What is it that they can construct? Now, to be able to get to that, we need to take students to the unknown through the learning process. Okay, some of you might know this diagram. I didn't come up with it. Do you know where it comes from? Vygotsky. Okay. Right, okay, so to get to the unknown learning processes, that is where the students need help. They need your support. You need to make sure you have particular strategies, particular techniques in place. And then, it's a question of, can they do it? Or do they still need help? Provided your structures, your techniques, your strategies are all in place, once you've given them the unknown, can they do it? Do they understand it? Have they internalized it? Are they confident? If they are confident, they can use it, and they have demonstrated it, then you take away the scaffolding. If they cannot do it, in other words, it's still unknown to them, then you have to take them from there and you go back there again. So you go back to what they know. And here's a tip that I always use when I'm using the unknown. I watch students' eyes. Because their eyes give me insight into what is going on in their brains. So if I see mist or fog in front of their eyes, I know I have to start all over again. Okay, so watch their eyes, like I'm watching some of your eyes here today. Right, okay, so that is your scaffolding. Now the techniques. I always make sure that I use comprehensible input. Input, language that the students will understand. So if I'm going onto the internet and I see something very interesting, I look at the vocabulary and I might have to adapt it so that the students can understand it. Okay. The vocabulary has got to be relevant to their particular needs, it's got to be relevant to their particular level, and it's got to be relevant to the particular topic as well as the theme. So if you're talking about food waste, you're not going to be talking about inventions, computers, airplanes, things like that. Okay? Keep it relevant to the particular topic or the particular theme. Images, 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 images with labels. Okay, that was when I was a bit mean and lean when I first arrived in Taiwan. I put on a few extra kilograms in the meantime. But whatever I'm wanting to focus on, vocabulary, I always use labels as well. Okay? So I'm giving you tips here that you can consider. Gesture. You see some teachers, particularly in my school, they will sit at the podium and they will sit there for the whole lesson. Okay, I can't do that. Okay, I have to walk around, running around and everything else. I think that's why my face is so red, because I'm so busy in the classroom. That is all because I'm so busy. My former principal ensured that I'm the only classroom in the school to get a C. Okay, and the other teachers asked me, well, why did you get a C? I said, because I do my work. You still have to work. Okay? Yeah, and it'll work for you. Right, repetition, 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 and recycle. Okay, recycle is using that vocabulary, but in different contexts. Okay, so let me give you some examples. I also choose delicious. What is delicious? Okay, some of them might know, some of them might say yummy. Okay, all I do is I just show them visuals. Okay? Okay, your gifts. Okay, you got that, you know what to do. Okay, or I might ask them, what is that? They will say a lemon. Okay, how does it taste? Okay, it's sour. Okay, say after me, it's sour. Okay, now I'll show them another visual. Okay, there you go. Okay, I don't have to say much. The visuals do it for me. Then I want to reinforce. Basketball, people say basketball. By the way, my students in my school now all say basketball, not basketball. Right, so basketball, team. Okay. This one is a winner among students. Okay. 4, again, I want to always give the students that are not so strong in English, give them extra confidence. I might show them a visual image. I can do my homework. Great. Then we might have some sports in the class, okay, with a fly swatter, okay, we have them all lined up. I used to do it, I don't do it anymore, because on 2 occasions the girls whacked the boys over the head with a fly swatter. And there was one boy that I thought his mother was going to come stinky, but anyway, so I don't do that game anymore. Okay, so, okay, they have to spot now the incorrect word. Okay, or find the wrong word. Okay, TPR, I do a lot of that in the class. Okay, but once we've done the actual activity, then I'm going to ask them to, okay, put the correct sentence, okay, in the empty spaces. And then I would often have the weaker students come up and show me. You will see I'm always focusing on the weaker students. And something like that, okay. This one is a winner. Don't think, you know, it's a stupid activity. The students love it, okay. Scramble those sentences. What is it? Sorry, Andy?
Don't want my food in your mouth.
There you go. Good. Okay. Next one. I agree, I don't agree. Particularly for the new.
Oh, don't you do it.
Okay, I don't agree. Then my question, Daniel, would be why?
It's like death.
Yeah, there you go.
The 2 with the instance.
Yeah, so that's for the lower and middle level students, and that why is for your upper level. Okay, so I'm doing everything in one here. Okay. This one, sequencing. Okay, I showed them a video. They have to put that video in the correct order. But can you see my scaffolding that I'm using here? What is the scaffolding?
There, they should put it in the
Yeah, but the scaffolding. Scaffolding. What techniques am I using?
The images.
Images and?
The links as well.
That's it. And underlining the words. Okay? Again, that's often for my lower level students. So whatever I'm doing in all my worksheets, scaffolding, scaffolding, scaffolding. Right? This is now when we start to recycle and make new knowledge. Change these words into the past tense, so every time I use grammar, and then make sentences. So I say to the students, I want you to make a sentence with go, change it to the past tense, and that sentence does have 5 words. Okay? We go along, make it more fun. Okay? And then when you come to sleep, slept, I might even say to them, I want to see who in the class, which group can make the longest sentence. I say to them, forget punctuation. The longest sentence I've had so far is 50 words. 50. Okay, so it can be done. Okay? I don't know where we could put in a punctuation, but anyway. It's just capital letter, ending off with a period. Okay. This one, word clouds again. Okay, I said to them, I want you to make 8 sentences only with the words in that word cloud. Okay? Then another activity following that is who can make the longest sentence from that? Okay, so you can do a lot of things with word clouds. Okay? Leslie, you want to find one sentence so quickly? Leslie, you want to find a sentence?
In Shinshu, it is Yes, it's 80 degrees Celsius.
Okay, great. Okay, well that's what they're supposed to do. But I have them do on whiteboards. Okay. Right. Repetition, recycle, and talking of whiteboards. And I always work with groups, and I make sure that each group has a whiteboard. It will have the duster to clean the whiteboard, but no markers. And it depends on how I feel the day. Okay? If I feel there's some naughty boys that are really grinding me down, and I will walk around very quietly, and I will put the marker here, go to the next group, put it over here, and then so on. I never give my naughty students time to be naughty, even the lazy students. So they all know, if they do their bit in the class, I'm not going to pick on them. Okay? I don't have to say much, I just show it. Okay? So, I always work with whiteboards. And for me, it's a very easy way to see how the students are performing overall with sentence structures. Now, specifically for Thursday as well, the students are going to be doing something like this. By the way, I've never seen these before, so I really don't know what the level of English is like. Okay, so Lena and I are going to be taking a few risks. When the activity takes place, that they have to start writing something. They won't have whiteboards, they're going to have A3 paper. By the way, if you don't have whiteboards, get your school to order them, or otherwise use A3 paper. And I forgot what I want to say. Yeah, for Thursday, you're going to see the students writing something down. Please do not give them the answers. What I often do is, if I see there's a grammatical error, I don't tell them what the error is. I just go up to it, and if this is the whiteboard, I'll just tap on it. Then the students realize that they've got to dial up. They've got to think, what is the mistake they have made? I don't tell them. They might even go to another group and ask, what's going on here? If I tell them it's too easy, I want them to think it out. So please, for Thursday, don't give many answers. Let them think it out themselves. And also, don't correct errors, just tap on it. Yeah.
When you say they go up and ask about the group, do you let them speak Chinese in class?
Good question, yes. But the feedback is in English. Okay. We're going to talk a bit more about that Thursday. I'm going to use the word in the meantime, trans-languaging. That's Thursday's job. Okay. So, if I answered your question, Peter. They can engage with one another in Chinese, I don't mind, but the feedback to me, the output, is in English. Otherwise, I don't understand what they're saying.
You use Chinese there?
No, but we're going to talk a bit about it just now. So can I ask that? Can I put your question on ice? Okay. Okay, so you know what to do for Thursday, okay? And again, we have dictionaries in the class. I mean, students, if I see something, I just tap them, and then they know what to do. Peter.
So, when you say they have, sorry,
When you say they have dictionaries in the class, does every student have a dictionary, or do you have one in a group, or do you have to get the school to order the dictionary, or?
At my school, my beautiful school, I noticed that there were dictionaries in every classroom, even if it was biology or math or whatever. But no one was using it, it was just collecting dust. One dictionary in each classroom. So I got my academic head and I asked them, well, can we get these dictionaries together and bring them to my classroom? So I've got about 15, 20 dictionaries in my class. But normally I like to work with one dictionary in a group, and then I will assign a particular student to find a particular word in the dictionary. Okay. But it depends on the class. But most of the time I'm using dictionaries because I like them to, I mean, I'm old school, I like them to feel the touch, the smell of the dictionary. I mean, I love books. Yes, no, please.
So you don't like them like going up to the computer and looking it up?
That's too easy.
Yeah.
That's far too easy. We'll talk about it just now. I'm old school as well, Peter. Maybe you're not. But I like them. I mean, we have dictionaries. That's why we use them. Okay? But we'll talk about Google Translate just now. Just now. Okay, so whiteboards. How do I use it? This is again another way to reinforce recycle. So what I do is, as I said, I walk around, make sure there's whiteboards at each table. I allocate a particular student, assign a student with a marker, depending on who that student is. I never give it to the smart students, okay, because they're just going to take over the whole activity. Okay, I want everyone to be involved in that group. As you can see, I always work in groups, and I give them a particular problem. I always give students a problem to solve. And the student assigned, the marker will write things down, assisted by the other students in that group. And then the student who is writing down the stuff goes to the front, holds the whiteboard, and I could say to the students, right, choose a friend in your group to do the reading. Oh, you must see the scowls and the facial reactions that come out of that. That's all part of the fun. Or I might even use a dice. Throw it up and say, right, student number 3, stand up, you're going to do the reading. So there's always that, what next? Okay, well, I'm terrible, but I mean, this is better. Okay, so reader students, I would often have a student go up with their buddy and help one another. Okay, this is very important to know about it. Then, this is what is called chalkboard splash. It really does look like a splash. Where instead of them reading, I will say, right, throw up the dice, student number 4, stand up. Student number 4, stand up and go write down everything that you have on your whiteboard, put it up on the chalkboard. Or, I might go around with a piece of chalk, put it at a particular student and say, right, you're the ones who have to go run up to the chalkboard, write it down, but you do not have the chalkboard with you. Your peers in the group must shout it out to you. It's what you call controlled chaos. Okay? I think my former principal next to her office, she liked to hear this buzz going on. Okay? So make sure there's controlled chaos going on. So they are writing that, but I say to them, you cannot repeat what other groups are writing. So they're writing and they're checking and everything else. Okay? So there's a lot of action going on in a classroom. Okay? Are you with me so far? I'm not talking too fast. Okay. Right? And then I might have my smarter students go up and correct whatever English needs to be corrected. I do nothing in the classroom. But it comes with a lot of preparation before the time. Okay? I think that's why my co-teachers enjoy our classroom, my classroom, is because there's a buzz going on and we are basically facilitating, we are assisting the students. We do very little talking. I have this ratio, 20% of me, 80% of the students. Maybe you'd like to think about that. Peter? Sorry for the video.
So like one of the things
one of the things you have here is, what was it, repeat? And then saying don't repeat.
Don't repeat?
Well, you're saying you're not saying anything.
Well, I mean, I'm talking, but if you look at what's going on in many schools around the world today, it's 80% of the teacher and 20% of the students, 5% of the students.
Yeah. So how do you introduce the repeating that you're talking about?
That's in the 20% part. And then when I give them the problem, I'm walking around looking and seeing if they are making any mistakes, and I just tap on it. Okay, and then that's where they discuss it with one another in Mandarin.
And what about the pronunciation?
You know, my whole research background was on pronunciation. You speak with a typical Australian accent, I'm not going to be able to change that. So...
No way, mate.
You can't change my accent. I just want to understand you. That's what it's about. Intelligible English. Because we have variations in English. So I'm not faith unless I cannot understand that person. Okay? Right, so there's your chalkboard splash. I like to give them graphic organizers, so I'll tell them a story, listening again, and I assign a particular student with a marker, okay, and then together in the group then they've written something down in the mind map, and something about me here. I'm not bothered how the mind maps look. I mean, I just want them to just do it. Okay, there they are in their groups, and then they have to write it down. Okay. And again, this is the grade 7 class. Remember I told you, they could hardly come in, this was first semester, hardly come in and put five words together in a sentence. Here's another example. Okay, by the way, I did not say this last sentence. Okay? Alright? Okay, look over here. Okay, I would walk past, I would just tap, and then they puzzle out for themselves. It's not spoon feed. There's another example, okay? I just praise them for trying. Something else. Okay? Look at this one. I mean, I consider this as new knowledge. Okay? I mean, I don't go for that. Okay? Maybe some of them would know, but for me, it's great. Okay. Right? Peter, direct translation. One of the struggles I had with my... I'm getting all hot now. We're going to talk about co-teachers later on. I have a great team of co-teachers. I'm blessed. But one of my problems in the beginning was my co-teachers would just be using Mandarin. Okay? If I asked a question, they would either just give the answer or just be speaking Mandarin all the time in my class. And I said, guys, no, listen. It's my classroom now. Okay, you're on my turf. Please, use as much English as possible. So when translations need to take place, well, first of all, if I give them a task, I don't mind if they engage one another in Mandarin, students, okay? Because that's part of the learning process. But the feedback, the output has to be in English, otherwise I can't understand them. If I ask a question and it's the word, let me think of landfill. I was doing something on food waste the other day. Landfill. I will ask a student, what is that in Chinese? Okay? If they don't know, then I will ask the co-teacher. If a student is struggling to say something in English, I will have that student say it in Mandarin, and then I will ask another student to translate that back to me into English. So I try to rely as little as possible on my co-teachers, because essentially the students can do it themselves, even if it is a little bit crooked, and I just refine it for them. I just repeat it back without even saying it's a mistake. I just repeat the correct version back. Yeah?
So when you're asking them to do a task, you're saying that in English.
Yeah.
And do you get a lot of children not understanding you?
Remember, I work with groups.
Yeah.
So in that group, the dynamics are taking place. They will help each other. I believe strongly in teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. You know? Okay?
Yeah. Still, I don't know if that answered my question. Like, do you ever have a problem getting them to understand the task when you say it in English? And if you do you ever resort to saying it in Mandarin or explaining in Mandarin?
I always make sure that whenever I'm wanting them to do a task, that the task is understandable. And I've used all my little techniques to try and make it understandable. Does it enough time? I'm not sure. But if it had to, I suppose, some classes I don't have a co-teacher. Okay? Particularly the late afternoon classes, additional classes. I don't have co-teachers, I don't want them. I just want students and me. So I think if it had to come to that, it had to come to that, I would resort to the co-teacher, but I try not to. You know, if there's a word in English that they don't know, then we play hangman. I don't want to make that answer too simple for them. I mean, hangman they love. So I've got little ways that I try to make it as easy as possible. Andy?
Yeah. Do you ever model how to do stuff before you get
Yeah. We're going to talk about that later. Yeah. Thank you. Modeling, very important. Maybe I should mention. Well done. Okay, so direct translation. We're going to talk a lot more about that Thursday. Okay. Right, so differentiated activities and worksheets. Differentiated activities I'm going to do just now with learning styles. But if you turn to page 139, this is a worksheet, page 139. Worksheets that I designed Valentine's Day. If you look at task 1, sorry Andy, I'm going to be next to you here. Task 1. Remember, take them from the known to the unknown. Okay? What do you know about Valentine's Day? Then, just to reinforce that, maybe I'll use task 2 at another lesson. Okay? Word search. But I haven't got the words. Unless someone will turn to the next page. And I haven't, sorry, there they are. And they get quite frustrated with themselves because it's there. And they never found it in the beginning. Okay? Then task 3, we're going to come to that later on, is a close. Okay, so I love playing songs, well-known songs. And they're going to listen and fill in the missing words. Okay? And often the words that they must choose from, what we call in English minimal pairs, they sound very similar or singular plural. Okay? So I love doing that. And then there will be a reading activity, task 4, and the questions that would follow from that. Okay, so a lot of it is lower order thinking skills. Look at number 4. Okay, there's a Venn diagram going on there. Okay, triple Venn diagram. But that's too easy for my students now. I give them a quadruple. That makes them think. Okay, you'll see Thursday I'll be talking about thinking skills. Then, okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. Materials development. I've just shown you some of what I do. By the way, the lesson that the worksheet you've just got through now, that's a build-up to what Lena and I are going to be doing Thursday. Okay. Right, so materials development. Content orientated. I always work with content, be it from history, geography, math, anything, but language sensitive. When I say language sensitive, I'm talking of scaffolding. Okay? Authentic tasks and PPTs, I design everything myself. So, if you're struggling one day to think of something, call me, I will send you what I've got. Okay, so, what do I do? Okay, topic, themes, your overriding idea, themes, the message you want to share with your students, search for materials, where do I find these materials? On the internet. Okay, very simple. Just type in ESL and see what pops up. News networks, BBC, CNN, Sky, anything. Because I like the students to be up to date with what's going on in our world today. Okay? Textbooks. Yeah, I do look at textbooks. Okay? We get some ideas from them. Real life things, menus, newspapers. In my classroom, I I've got this beautiful big world map. It covers the whole of the back classroom. And I often send my naughty boys to go find a country on that world map. There's one boy at grade 9, his name is Paul. Every time I'm looking at that world map, I see he's getting nervous. And I say, yeah. Right, okay, what else? Graphic organizers. I love using graphic organizers. Mind maps. Okay, Venn diagrams, which you've just seen. Okay, I tried this last year with my grade 8s and 9s. Cause and effect chain. That's solid thinking skill stuff coming up. That's stuff you don't see in textbooks. Graphs. Okay, or if we have done a survey and I've asked the students to go around the school, find out from other teachers what they like and what they don't like. Then I get them to come back and very quickly, you've got some real computer whiz-kicks in the class. Then you put this stuff quickly on a computer. We blow it up on the screen, there's the data. And then pyramids of importance, rank order from best to worst. Okay, so these are the type of things I love to include. Okay, so with all of that in mind, I put that in my crazy brain, and then I whip up a worksheet. And it'll take me 2 to 3 weeks before I'm satisfied with that worksheet. I say satisfied. I'm not happy with it, okay? Because I still like to tinker around on things. So what I'm trying to ask you is that never be happy with what you produce. You can always improve on it, okay? Right, role of the teacher, the student, okay? Right, well, that's what goes on most of the time, okay? I say more. Sometimes when I'm walking around my school, I will walk past the classrooms, and the teachers are front sitting at the podium, and the students are all in rows behind one another. And I walk past, and I can see the boredom on their faces. I walk past, and I just wink at them. They give me a wry little smile, and I walk past. I know what's going through their minds, okay? There you go. Please do not have this. Shame on you if you do. Okay, right. Active student, teacher facilitated. This is what I like to focus on. Peer teaching, which is student or teacher facilitated. I keep on saying 20% from me and the rest of the lesson, 80% from the student. Okay. So I might adapt things, what I get off the internet or whatever. So I might shorten something. Remember? You have to make it relevant to the needs and the level of the student. Simplify things. If I see there's some difficult words there, I'll make it easier for them. Okay? Supplement. Bring in something else. Bring in some new activities, games. Personalize it. What does that mean?
Make it relevant to them.
Sorry?
Make it relevant to them.
In what way?
So they want to
bring it back to Taiwan. Bring it back to their lives. Because we read about a lot of things going on all over the world. Bring it back to Taiwan. Let me give you an example. Okay, I don't listen, and please, I hope this is not. But I do love to see students involved with art. Because they enjoy it. And you have to be brave to be creative. And that's what I'm trying to develop in my students. And confidence to show the world what they have developed. So, we did something on Edvard Munch and Vincent van Gogh. American English, you say Van Gogh? Shame on you! Van Gogh. You say in Australia? Van Gogh. Is that correct? Am I right? Van Gogh. Remember he's Dutch. Is it correct, Chris? Yeah. Okay. So, what's it here? What do you say? There you go. There you go. Okay. So I'll be focusing on different colors, different types of art style, Edvard Munch, Vincent van Gogh. And then I want to focus on Vincent van Gogh as artwork of Starry Night. I'll give him a bit of history about why he painted it in the village, somewhere in Provence, somewhere in France. And then I asked the students, after we've gone through that whole painting of the colours and the schemata there in the sky, and what it represents, the colours, etc. I asked them now, how can we bring this to Taiwan? How can we have Taipei City in that painting? They look at me. What is that word? Skyline. What's a skyline? So they look at sky. I asked them, what is line? So what's a skyline? Then I showed them this. What's that skyline of? London. That one? Then I asked them to draw me on a piece of paper, ordinary paper, draw me the skyline of Taipei City. Just draw it. What's in your mind? So what is the building that stands out? The iconic one? 101. Okay? So they've all done that. And then I say, right, compare your skyline to my skyline. Okay? And they have a good laugh. And then I ask them, cut out your skyline. I want you then to, on a task, worksheet, to then do the Starry Night of Vincent van Gogh. And there you go. There you go. I cannot do it any better than that. And they have to describe what is going on in Taipei. Again, I made a mistake here. It was Glory. I know you're not very happy to see that. Yeah. New Taipei. It's Taipei City. Not New Taipei. Taipei City. Okay? And they have to describe what is going on. There's another example. You cannot get better than that. That's grade 8 stuff. Okay? So, there's creativity for you. And I'm so proud of the students for doing that. I asked them permission if I could show it at other workshops. They said yes. Okay? Right, so, personalize it, create from scratch. Sometimes Thursday's lesson is created from scratch. Reflection. Don't be happy with what you've got.
Oh, when I personalized it, I would always put parks or landmarks or something and put it in the sentence. So like, John went to the Jungmung Park with Sally.
Good. So long as you feel it brings the students back to what they are familiar with, their environment. Okay? Because our Chinese students, I always call them little Americans, because everything they get is from America, like they have the knowledge, etc., etc. I want to make them feel proud of their own cultural heritage and environment as well. Right, okay, assessment. I'm going to take off my glasses again. Right? Okay, it's feedback. Okay, that's all it is. Now, this one, oh, sorry, I mentioned about I always watch students' eyes throughout any and every lesson. It gives me an indication of what's going on. Okay. Well, the summative, you're really not going to be able to make much of a change there because the students have to do the tests, they have to do their exams. But once my co-teachers got to understand me and what I can do with English, I said to them, but I also want some summative assessment. I want my students to do orals. And they have a big oral at the end of every semester. Now, the grade 7s, when they come into the school, they can hardly put anything together. It's fine. It's my challenge. I say to myself, well, I have to improve on this. By the end of this, the second semester, they have to pretend they're on CNN, and they have to give me the weather forecast for 3 or 4 counties in Taiwan. They have to stand at the board, at the screen, and they are who so-and-so giving the weather forecast for CNN. Now there's a lot of information there. Okay? For my smarter students, they don't know this because I have the world map at the back of the class. I'll say, right, thank you. Now tell me about the weather in 3 or 4 countries. That they didn't expect. That they do. Okay? They do that perfectly well. But it all starts off with scaffolding. There's a lot of information there. And all my students have to do it. Okay? All my students. I will say to them, it's winter. As they're going along, I might put that up. Whoops! It's snowy. Okay? How cold is it going to be? And it's a good day to go fishing or hiking or whatever. So those are little things I like to include to ambush my students. Traffic, road directions. Okay, it's quite simple, going from big city to the school. And they all start by going on Tom Road. I said, oops, right, what now? You see how you can make teaching fun. And you see the amusement on their faces as well. Okay, then of course they're going to go along Station Road. There we have that little accident there as well. So I keep on doing this, okay, I make it as difficult as possible, but I've got about 6 or 7 slides. Okay, so instead of students going outside, watch out for Tom Road, watch out for this road, and every student is going to get a different one. The best answer I ever got was by the time the student got to Ann Road. Okay, the student was so tired with these little ambushes of mine, she said, Teacher Philip, just get a helicopter. I gave her 10 out of 10. That's originality. I mean, this is not one of the smartest students, this is just something that popped up. That's new knowledge for me, okay? Right. I love my students. I don't know if they love me. Okay, right. Formative assessment. I do this throughout every lesson. I'm always watching. Provides information on what students understand and what they don't. So, make it fun, student-centered, okay, and learnable. Focus on opportunities to improve learning and teaching. Your teaching as well. It gives me opportunity to see what I must improve on. Give rich, descriptive feedback. I always talk to the students, okay? So, teacher assessment, okay, on anything and everything. Whiteboards is a very good indication for me of what's going on. Peer assessment, okay? So what do I do with that? Well, it's assessing classmates. Because I often believe the students can learn more from one another than from me. I always believe, right, message, wrong messenger. They can learn better from their peers. Okay, so peer teaching, chalkboard splash, which I've already shown you. Okay. Doodle it. I will give them a listening task and they have to draw it. Something like that. And then I will ask them to give it to their friends on the left. To their peers on the left. See what is missing. Okay? They learn more that way than what I can tell them. Running dictation, we're going to talk about that later on. And poster, I have my students making PPTs or posters. I believe in that because that's the way, well, you'll see now, opportunity to revise key language areas and to demonstrate new knowledge. This new knowledge thing is important for me. Okay, how? Students are given an outline of the topic, and this comes back to your question here. So I give them an outline, I give them example presentations, and I use previous students' PPTs as well. Okay? Students identify and implement key stages of presentation. I'm trying to get them to learn presentation skills. Okay? Greetings, introduction, main points in order of importance, and the conclusion. Use sequence markers, first, next, afterwards, finally. Students decide in their groups what to plan, design, and say what and how. Allow students to practice in their groups. The presentation itself is followed by questions from other peers. Now, so once the presentation is finished by a particular group of students, I get other groups to ask them questions. I don't ask the questions. The students must ask.
So do they, like they're in a group and you do the, they make the PPT in the class with you when they're there. So they would need a computer. So
I take you to computer lab. My classroom is strategically placed next to principal, next to computer lab.
okay, so they have a computer lab in your school and they can go there. But then some might want to use the paper and make a poster that way.
Yeah, I do, but then I would make a poster project.
Okay, so it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I make sure that they make sure it's teamwork, and I say to them at the end, the group with the lowest score, we will repeat it. but I give them another topic. So they know that they've got to perform, because I'm looking for the best out of them.
And so they don't ever do this like at home.
They can if they want, they bring their USB, they work in a class, I give them a lesson, they work on it, they design whatever. Sometimes I might give them 2 lessons, okay? And then I say, and they have the date when they're going to present their presentation. So some of them might take it home and just refine it here and there, okay? But generally, and what I'm doing is I'm walking around, not checking up if they're doing the work, I'm just checking up on their English. And again, I don't tell them what to do, I just point to it. Okay.
And you're talking about structure there, like introduction and the body and the conclusion and transitions. So that's going to have to be taught to them, right? So you're explaining to them the structure in English.
Yes.
How the structure is and how to transition.
And I have modeled it from other PPTs previously used. Okay, and I show you. Can you see? This is an introduction. This is how we start the PPT. Okay. So I take them through all of it. So I must admit, the first PPT presentation they make for me in the year is, you know, it's good, but it's not brilliant. Okay? And there's places to refine on, and I focus on that. By the time they've done number 2 or number 3, depending on the class, it's very good.
So this is junior high school.
Junior high.
So when do they start with this, in the grade 7?
Yeah, grade 8 for me. Grade 8. We don't have time in grade 7. I'm focusing more on English. Grade 8 for me is what can they do with that English.
Okay, so grade 7 is not that advanced to do that. It's more basic stuff that you're doing.
But as a preamble to that, for the grade 7s, the whiteboard will come in. Okay, and I get them coming up together as a group and talk about what they have designed on their whiteboard. So that, it's a gradual process.
Yeah, and
grade 9 I don't do it because the tests and exams dictate everything.
Okay, so you've got the structure with the PowerPoint. What about with writing?
Very good. Okay. I allow them to write whatever they're doing, and I will look at it. I will, if I see it's a serious problem, I will assist them. I tell them I don't want you to Google Translate it. Okay? I don't want them to Google Translate, because Google Translate hasn't actually succeeded in perfecting the Chinese, the Mandarin with English. I also tell them, don't go to your co-teachers. I am your Google Translate. Come to me. I want to see them. I want to help them. Because if they go to another teacher, it's too easy.
So are you giving them, like, are you teaching them to write an essay?
No. Paragraphs, short sentence.
No, but do you also teach them to write a paragraph or an essay?
Yeah.
Because that structure is the same.
Sure. Remember, this is all they do. The PowerPoint presentation is the final stage of a particular lesson. I would have stretched over 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. So I've had enough time to focus on what is it I require out of that presentation.
My question is, do you also teach them to write essays or paragraphs?
Honestly, not paragraphs, yes, but not essays. I only have 1 lesson a week.
But don't you think it's important for them to learn that skill?
I think it is, but I just don't have the time for it. I only have 1 lesson a week for each class, so I'm trying to I focus more on giving them a problem. I mean, you have to communicate that problem verbally. That's really the essence.
I guess they might be learning that skill with other teachers as well, like Taiwanese teachers, Taiwanese English teachers.
You know, Laurie, are they able to write essays in your classes?
No, actually for the junior high school students, the only requirement for them is just to write a short paragraphs. So actually they don't have to write the whole composition. So they don't have some basic idea like introduction sentences, summarize, and supporting ideas. So the basic requirement is they can write a short paragraph. and that will be good. Because for the the entrance examination to go to the high school, they are not required to write the paragraph or sentences. So the major focus for the meantime, most of the teachers will focus on their reading skills. That's for our junior high school students. But I think most of you will teach in the elementary school. The basic skill is for listening and speaking. So try to motivate them, make them have interested in learning English. That's the most important. Give them more chances to speak and put them into a more authentic environment of listening. So that would be good. For the rest of the things, we local Chinese English teachers will take care of it. Okay. So just make them feel happy, fun, love English. But don't make them fall in love with you, okay? Let them like you, but don't fall in love with you. Okay. Yes?
I just like well, with my experience in the country, we don't have lots of time at schools to teach what we really want to teach, and what we think that they should know when it comes to using the language. However, if you work at a cram school, you see them 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes 5 days a week. You have lots of time. You can teach them to write essays, they can write articles, they can have a full-on presentation for you. So because you spend so much time with them, and you also find that many of the students, they are interested in learning English. Especially those students who are well off, because their parents are able to afford the classes. So they go to this elementary school or junior high school, they learn English once a week. They go to a cram school, they learn English 5 days a week. So the benefits them, and you can do so much more. So I've worked at the cram school for a number of years, and I did not only teach English, so I taught all the different subjects. So it was art, science, math, because you can do so much more with it.
I just want to add on what Peter's asking. My school, and maybe it differs from your schools, they've asked me if I would take a group of, it's always a grade 8s, a group of low-level grade 8s, another group of upper-level grade 8s. Now there I can do different things with them, and for the upper-level grade 8s, to challenge them, I do give them extracts, text to write. But it's not a full-on essay. Again, I would only see them once a week for that as well.
Full-on essay, but even a full-on essay can be quite short.
100 words. Yeah. For them, it's 100 words. Yeah. But I give them a problem. It's not to talk about what did I do in my summer vacation. So I give them a full-on problem, and they have to think about it. Yes. Yeah, sure.
Like one thing she just mentioned there was about reading.
Yeah.
You don't seem to read much with the kids.
Every one of my lessons has a reading text.
A reading text.
Yeah. You will see it. There's another lesson as well. Grade 9s have quite extensive text to read. That one you see that is a relatively short grade 8 text on Valentine's Day. Every lesson has a text, because that's often where, I'll talk a lot more about this Thursday, the language used to support the learning. Okay, but I'm going to talk a lot more about that Thursday. Okay, but they do get text. Every lesson has a text. Okay, right, end off with a double assessment. Sorry, I just want to go back to number 7. So my students will ask their group questions. Because I want to see if they've been concentrating and what type of questions are they asking. Okay, I want to see if I can't get to that higher level thinking skill. Okay, right, end off with a double assessment. I will say to the students, right, I'm going to assess you, and when you are up there presenting your presentation, the other groups are going to assess you as well. Okay, so what am I looking at? And again, it's up to you to decide what you want to put in your rubric. Preparation, that's important. Presentation skills, engages the audience, use of gesture, lots of talking. Watch out, if they're going to make presentations, they're going to do a lot of reading from the PPT. I said, I don't want to see that. I want you to talk. Talk to me, talk to your peers. Enthusiasm. I don't want to see dead fish up front. I want to see lively students. Can use new knowledge. The problem I give them, what can they do with it? And fluency, comfortable, understandable English. And again, the group that gets the lowest score, they're going to do it again. Right? Okay, self-assessment. I don't often do this, but maybe you do. It's about what can students, what can I do differently? Just as teacher, but students. So you have what is called exit slips. Okay, I've done it once or twice, but not often. But I'm sharing it with you. Okay, self-evaluation. Okay, they just got to tick off what how they feel. I understand, and then rate yourself as well. Okay, those are different types of things. It's up to you. Other teachers, every time when taught a lesson, the teacher will. I'm talking about other foreign English teachers. Matt used to do it, Lena. He's taught them something, and he asks each and every student a question before they walk out. Okay, because he wants to get a feel of what can they do. Right? Reflection, reflection, reflection. Right? My boss has told me 5-minute break, and then we'll end off with the last session. Okay, thank you. Take another 5-minute break.
And also for your information, besides the coffee, there are 2 boxes of delicious handmade chocolate, and offered by the lovely lady at the back, Kathy. And Kathy, you are the project manager, right? Coordinator. Nobody wants to be the manager. Everybody's so afraid of being the manager. Okay. And the handmade cookies are really delicious. Just go there and try. Okay? Good job, guys. No, cookies, not chocolate. Handmade, perhaps cookies or regular chocolate. Here, good. Yeah,
you know what works, and what I teach might be different to how you want to do it. Finland, the #1 country in the world for education, the students of the world. And they're #1 in the world. Their education system is #1. Last few years. Because they are cram schools, and by the time they get into
所以你是那个就是
双我们双语部的话，我们双语部自己有自己的主任，然后我们其实主任上面还是有一个教育的学习的部长。 其实我是这个计划的主理人。
那你们应该会有一个，
我应该知道，我们没有那么正统说有一个教授，可是我们有一个教授，的确他是我们计划一刚开始。
所以你就会挂在
我们是就像Annie 我们是师大，我们是挂在师大。
就是你们实验室有负责这个计划，但是他像以前他们放在大学，对，然后他把它放在来，你的电话 Rory， 你电话要关静音啊，就让这边开不顺，然后就关静音。所以你那个你下课没有在旁边，吵架不要讲坏话。
That's why we have got one and
我们其实就一天的一个肯定是
我简单的微笑，可是我们重点机场接机，然后开始然后礼拜三小孩有 field trip， 会带他们去逛一逛。我觉得这个不要让他有点在时间上面过，然后我们这几年就是直接从国外来这边过。那最近这几年我们不是就是在那边他们全部所以以前我会比较多需要比方说那种台湾文化，或者是上线的18强的时候，但是现在我们要减少这一块，他们就本身某种是太讲究就这块的需要，所以我们这边要增加的课程就是
Okay, so dealing with another language, specifically
Right, can we continue? Final session before lunchtime. Hang in there, guys. Do not get dead fish.
Did you call on me on purpose about the word scramble?
Yes, because I saw your eye.
I knew it. I remember I was looking at the talk. You're good.
No, listen, it's an experience. You did a good job. You did a good job.
I did that when I
the other thing I do with boys in the class is talking to a girl, hey, do you want to kiss her? I'm Jake, be quiet. You know, or I'll do the same with a girl, you know, or, that quickly puts, stops them talking or whatever they're doing. So, use humor. Humor.
I said that why you go boy. He cried.
Oh. Right, let me continue. Okay. I'm going to skip the question. Are there any questions? Any questions? We only have, Sarah, how many minutes have we got left? Sorry, I'm interrupting your chocolate there. 40 minutes? Okay, this is going to be a quick session. Okay, but I've got a task ready for you. Okay, I want to see if you've been listening today. Right, any questions? Okay? Right, okay. I want to do learning styles. Often it's associated with intelligences, okay? So I'm going to give you a whole lot of activities, because whenever I'm designing a lesson, I try to incorporate all the different learning styles, maybe not all in one lesson, but as many as possible. And some of them, you can see that they dovetail, they overlap with one another, okay? So, each student has got a unique blend, although one or two will be more dominant. Okay, so try and accommodate all these different learning styles in your classroom. So here are some examples. Okay, so the interpersonal, this is the socializer, this is the confident, this is the one that cannot stop talking. Use them. Okay, so let's look at the activities. Well, peer teaching, I do a lot of that in the classroom, right? There's James. Hello, James. There's another.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but you know.
Now, I have a question for you later on.
I have an answer.
Yes, James.
So you can join.
Yeah, if you like. But James has attended one of these before.
Really?
Yeah, you have. No, I saw you 3 years ago.
Okay,
activities, peer teaching. Okay, this one is a winner. It touches on all 4 skills: high energy, high octane. The student getting tired. What do you do? It's called running dictation. And I told Peter before that I give in every lesson a text. I take a chunk of that text. And I start the lesson off by saying to the students, stand up. And I ask them, do you see this piece of paper? Come with me. Now, my passage corridor, about 75 meters long, and I purposely made the activity go past the principal's office. So I say to the students, stand up, come with me, and I attach this piece of paper, which is a portion of the text that they've been reading previously, on the wall at the end of the corridor. I ask them, do you see it? Yes. They're looking at each other very strangely. What now? I said, go back to your classroom. Get back to the classroom. Make sure that there's a whiteboard at each table or A3 paper with a marker. And I ask the students, choose in your group a writer, so they can choose. And I say, right, writer, stand up. You are going to write. And some students will ask, what? I said, sit down. Keep them curious. And I'll say, right, other students, decide who's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And we'll have 5 students in a group. And I say, right, student number 1, in each group, stand up. You are student number 1, runner. You are going to run. And what you must do is, you must, when I say go, you must run to the end of the passage and memorize the first sentence. But these aren't short sentences. Hey, I'm terrible. They're not short sentences. So you must go to the end of the passage, memorize it, and if you forget any part of that sentence, you must run back. Okay? Student number 2, stand up. When student number 1's sentence is written on the whiteboard by the writer, only then may you run. Doma, do you understand that, also students? They say yes. I say go! But the student number 1 is already running down the passage, and it's a competition. And you can see what's going on in the brain, trying to memorize that sentence. Okay? They start running back, they've forgotten the sentence, and they run back again. Now, I'm going to give you some tips on how to avoid collisions. Okay? But what I normally do, I stand outside the classroom. Okay? So, my classroom's got 2 doors. I think most classrooms have 2 doors, James? The door closest to the chalkboard is where they run in. Door furthest, run out. Because if they run in and out the same door, there's going to be a collision. Okay, so 2 doors, 1 for running in, 1 for running out. And what I do is I stand outside, and as they're running past, I will go A, B, C, D, ABCD, and that's already jerked their memories so badly that they have to go run back again. Okay, so they do that until the whole passage is completed, and then I say to them, finished. Look at the text and see how far you're off the mark. See what needs to be corrected. And only then do we determine the winner. Well, those students are so sweated up. I mean, the classroom smells of perspiration, okay? Try that. It's a lot of fun. And try and avoid collisions, because some of those boys are running very, very fast. I mean, because you are now latching onto their learning styles as well. So we've accommodated reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Okay. Right, here's another one. Surveys. I love doing surveys in school. I send students in different groups out to different parts of the school. But give them a time frame of 5 minutes. Let's bring back the data, and then we look at, are jeans popular in Taiwan? Okay, those type of things. So what's Taiwan's most famous night market? They must go to other teachers and ask those type of questions. Bring it back, let's discuss it. Typewriter game. Let me see. I want to see if I can show you this. Do any of you remember typewriters? My days. My day. Okay. Typewriter, if you made a mistake, take out the paper, start all over again. Okay. So we call this a typewriter game. Again, Peter, with the text. Let me see if I can get this going. Okay. I would give them a text like this. I don't have time to do it with you, but I'm going to show you. Okay. Give them a text like this. And I would join up 2 groups, so there's about 7 or 8 students in a group, and I'd say, right, start off with A. So students go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, right up until Z, okay? To make it more challenging, I give them punctuation marks as well. Now, with that text, I'm going to show you a video. Text is on the screen. Instead of N, H-E-S-E, what are they? There you go. Okay. So if they make any pronunciation errors, start again, like a typewriter. Okay, it's a fun activity. Okay, typewriter again. Okay, right, intrapersonal. People are going through this very fast now. Okay, the people like to do diaries on, you know, like even little short extracts, you know. And often when it comes to whiteboard activity, if I don't assign a student with a marker, these students will take it. Right, puzzles, crosswords, word search. Okay. Research, lots of research. Lots of research. Okay, physical. These people, for them to think, they've got to move. Okay. Singing. Okay, role play. But it's not your ordinary role play. If it's in junior high school, they go to the doctor and tell them you've got a stomachache. Okay, I give them a problem, a real full-on problem. Like that one, really quickly. The next one, scaffolding. You discover like a dictionary. That's a problem. That's a problem. Grade next.
Grade 8.
So they don't memorize the
No, this is off the bat. I mean, and you'll be surprised what awesome responses you're going to get. Things I didn't even think of. Okay, here's another one. The boys are more sincere than the girls when it comes to this one. Yeah. Okay, give them a problem. Don't make it simple. Let them figure out.
So, like, do they like bad breath? Do they understand bad breath?
Okay, so I'll go, bad breath.
So you're explaining the text to them before they do it.
We all read it through together, and then I will gesture as well. But definitely, I know what my students can do, and I know what they can't do. Okay? Okay, I often show them a picture. And I call it, no, I wouldn't show them a picture. I call it a student and show the student the picture, and other students ask questions. Am I? Okay? And we use that. Americans use that. Donald Trump. Your students love it. You were really close. Donald Trump. And the students love him. Okay, for whatever reason. Okay, my name's Brad. I've just designed a new lesson on travel, and I read it also on some other news network of a chap called Tony Giles. Tony Giles is visually impaired and he's deaf, but he loves to travel to different countries in the world with his white cane. And sorry,
he's
visually and audibly.
So does he have some sight or some hearing?
No, he can't stop. No. But this is the challenge as well as the passion, because he relies on his senses. And this is what I want to share with the students as well, about challenges, okay? And so I've got this stick, and I want the students to understand how to use a white cane. They're blindfolded. And I said to them, this is how Tony Giles is. How do you feel about that? So I really bring this back to the students and their experiences. So, blind man's buff, scavenger hunt. Yeah, I make it simple. I give them a grid with coordinates, and they've got to go and find certain things in the school. I don't say where to find it, it's all on the coordinates, and they've got this grid in front of them. So those are the ways I challenge the students. Simon Says, competitions. This one is, again, coming back to superheroes. I have a long roll of toilet paper. My gosh, it was a funny activity. And can I show you quickly? And it's about heroes. Okay, so, is so-and-so your hero? Another. Okay, these are famous pop stars that the students are often familiar with. LeBron James. So what they're going to do is, you have this toilet paper, and I will have a yes and a no. If it's a maybe, they have to stand over the toilet paper. So if this LeBron James is the hero, then he can stand on the left side. Okay, if he's not, on the no side, maybe. So that keeps them busy as well. You understand this activity? So I take them through. Yes. Yes. Right. Okay, exciting one. Okay, Spider-Man. So that's up to you. Also, you can gauge. When it comes to the family, where is that student in the family structure? These are all famous pop stars. Wonder Woman, Sister, Fireman. So there you go. Okay, your English teacher. Okay, so I'll take you out of that one. Right. See where I am? Okay, right. Sign language. I did this with my lower level grade mates one year. There's a little bit of gap for sentence construction. And I said to them, I showed them this, did a bit of background on it. I then ask them to make me, show me with sign language how to say, I love you. And I watched the students, lower level grade 8s that I'm teaching, and they were so intrigued by this. I then made it a longer sentence. Okay, 5 or 6 words. This is a lovely gap for them. And then, yes, I can see Emma's already doing that. And then I said to them, I want you to go home, make a sentence with 10 words, come back to the class, use the sign language, and everyone must guess what are you trying to say. It sends out an appreciation for people that are deaf, as well as an appreciation for that they are not deaf. You understand? That they can value who they are. So this was a lovely gap for them. Okay. I just fell on it the other day. I thought, let me try it out. Take a risk. There it goes. Right, verbal, linguistic. These are the most common people in your class. Okay? This came as a surprise for me. Okay, they're the readers. I put a dictionary at each table, each group. Look who are the students that will pick up that dictionary and start to page through it. It's these people. Okay? Hangman. Okay, the students love Hangman. Must I finish? Sarah? Oh, sorry, I told you. Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
My boss is telling me this. Right, okay, Hangman. This one, I talked about, we've gone through text. I then cut out the words, put those words in an envelope, and then I say to the students, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, right, student number 1, I want you to make me a sentence, take the words out of the envelope, make me a sentence with what I say. Okay, the other students can help, but they cannot touch the paper, the letters, or the words that come out of the envelope. Okay, so I'm reinforcing reading there. Error correction, I love to see how they go with error correction. Chinese whispers, do you understand that? I have students standing in a line, okay, and I say to student number 1, okay, let's give them a sentence, and let's see what student number 5 can come up with. Okay, memory game. Okay, this one, it's a lot of scaffolding going on here, teach them different words, they tell me what the words are as well. Describe the picture, and then I ask, what is missing or different in B? I don't have to do anything more than that. Okay, they give me what's missing. But it comes back to scaffolding. I give them little things like that. Can you find the hidden tiger? Can you see it? Can you see it, Sarah? And Sarah can see it, but you can't see it.
Yes.
Can you see it? Where is it, Leslie?
In the lines in his further.
Okay. H-I-D-D-E-N-T-I-G-E-R. Okay? This is another lovely one. I'll give them words, like for instance, skyscraper. And I ask them, how many words can you make from skyscraper? Okay? I'm not going to ask you, that's the answer. 409 words. Okay? The highest my students have come up with is 50. Okay? Right? Okay, visual, spatial. These are the students who like to draw things, construct things, arts and crafts, and spatial orientation maps. Okay, this activity I've done many times with my students. Do you know this one? You know that one? Okay, but what you do is you just make sure that each group has got about 25 or 30 plastic cups. And each group you put down a rubber band, and you give each group member a piece of string about 60 centimeters long. And you say to them, you cannot touch those paper cups with your hands or any other part of your body. You have to use the rubber band, and you have to use those pieces of string. That's all you tell them. Go for it. You can see that they are thinking about what to do, and they're coming up with all different types of ideas. And then they'll see one group has got some kind of solution which looks like that, and they all follow. This is a beautiful activity. Okay, it'll go on for about 20 minutes. Right, art activities. Why? Okay, develop students' imagination. Okay, develops creative and thinking skills. And this is very important for me. Art, they can translate understanding into energy, because not all thinking is done in words. Okay, when I plan something, I draw things, activities. I give them a text on superlatives, big, bigger, biggest. Okay, you've seen that. Okay. Another activity I did with them, we did a lesson on deadly animals. What's the world's deadliest animal, by the way? Hippo? No. It's Africa's deadliest animal.
Humans.
The number 2. James? Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes. No, mosquitoes. And so, at the end, I want to tap into that art. Okay, so I want to choose, what animal is that? Okay, so I said that it's a shabaka. Bear and shark. So, what I say to them, okay, I say to them, and I get this is the lecture scaffolding. It's dangerous, it lives on land and swims in the ocean and loves to eat lazy students. It has long, sharp teeth and a furry body. And then I say to students, I want you to design your own deadliest animal by combining 2 animals and making a new name out of it. And that's all syllable structure as well, by the way. Okay? Think about that. And they would come up with something like that. By the way, this was done by a group of girls, because it does say here it only eat women. And that's an area for me to see, okay, I've got to now focus on the eats. Okay? Right? Okay. This one. I'm going to give it to you quickly. We have enough time. Okay. What's wrong with that? Change the order. Up there. Tell me if you don't. Right. And those 3 ladies at the back also do it. Gloria. Oh, one more. Right. So, I gave my students, I've done this with the students, and I have these words at the bottom here, okay, which you have as well. In the instructions, read through all the sentences before you begin. Okay? Don't say anything more. And ask the students, what is that? What is that? Smiley face, heart, pencil. Okay? I go through those words. I demonstrate what the meaning is of each of those words. Are you ready? Are you ready? You all got pens in your hands or pencils? Right, there you go. Keep quiet, just keep quiet, just do it. Don't say anything. Okay, can I stop you right there? Can I stop you right there, everyone? Let me get my microphone. Sarah and Annie, look at the bottom there. Do not do sentences 1 to 7. Westerma, read through all the sentences before you begin. Use the same. And this is the outcome of some of my students, where they try to take delete whatever they've drawn, something like that as well, try to not look so guilty. Okay, try that one with your students. YouTube, I use a lot of it in the classroom, okay, it tells you more than what you can see in writing, and integrates the outside world in the classroom, okay, and stimulates the wealth activities. I'll be doing that Thursday with you. Okay, logical, mathematical. Okay, these are other learning styles. I love, challenging these students. Okay, with graphs, anything to do with money, okay, time and train schedules, brain teasers, problem solving, okay? Let me ask you, can you find all the numbers in this logic puzzle?
Okay? What's the answer? Who are the mathematicians here? Peter, you're a mathematician. 38. This one, I'm not bothered what the answer is. I want to see what they think and how they think it, and what is their output. Okay, that's up to you to decide who is the killer. Okay? I believe it is this chap. Because this guy is right-handed, she's right-handed, and that chap is on the left side. Okay? I'm not sure if it's correct, that's my thinking. But the students come up with other great ideas. Do not underestimate your students. Okay, the musical, the rhythmic. The musical are the ones that love to sing. They are the ones you should get to read out aloud in your class. They love to hear the intonation, the tone, etc. Okay? Sing songs. Okay? My voice is not very good, but the students love to sing in class. Whistling. Okay, the flows. When I play them a song, I take out, I identify particular words relevant to my lesson. And the students must listen and identify the missing word. We call that close. Okay? I do that often. The naturalists, these are the people who care about the environment. You can do lots of things with them when it comes to the world. Okay? They like to go out, field excursions. The collector. Okay, right, this is what I wanted to get to. James, maybe you, I'm not sure if this is part of your session this afternoon, but tell me if it is. Okay, the first one, specifically the first one. Okay, are you ready? I'm ready. Good, you didn't come here for nothing. I know. Right, co-teachers. You're going to experience your co-teachers. And your co-teachers come with different egos. Am I touching on yours this afternoon? No, but... Would you like to add on here? Yes. Sure. Great. We've got the microphone. Oh, microphone. There you go. Co-teachers. You're going to be experiencing different co-teachers. Co-teachers come with different egos. Like you come with different egos. And I told you that when I first arrived at my school, I put it to them, what do you want from me? And I told them what I can give them. And in the beginning we blended, complemented each other, and then later on when I got a bit more braver, I said to them, guys, can we not change things now? And since then, I am what I am at my school. So they've given me complete, utter freedom. But of course they know that I do my job. If there had been another person maybe who doesn't do the job, you know, they'd watch you like a hawk. But understand, people come with different egos. You need to work with your co-teachers. Keep them on your side. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Because you cannot teach a lesson if you know you and your co-teacher do not see eye to eye with one another. James, do you want to add on that?
Sure. Hi everybody, my name is James Miller. I'll be speaking after lunch. Thank you for calling me into this session. Regarding co-teachers, you're going to find that the personalities are very different. And you may be working with one co-teacher. I actually currently work with 3. I've worked with as many as 7 or 8, depending on the size of the school and the setup. Some co-teachers are going to think of you as the expert. And they're going to want you to do almost everything and give you very little guidance, very little direction, complete control. And so when it's class time, they're going to say, what are you going to do today? Other co-teachers, they're a little hesitant to share their time, their space, their classroom. And they kind of think, what do we need you for? I've been teaching English for many, many years, and my students like me and the school likes me. So they don't want to give much control. Some co-teachers are very organized. They know exactly what they want to accomplish every class. and they have a good record of what we did last time, what we should do today, and where we need to go in the next class. Some co-teachers are not very organized. It's their first time teaching, with a foreign English teacher. And you're going to find you may have these kind of 3 types. You know, the one that wants you to do everything, the one that wants to share and you play off of each other, and the one that really isn't comfortable with your being there. Some people want to handle the discipline, some people want you to handle discipline in classroom behavior. I like to think of myself, and I think you did a wonderful job in your presentation. I think of myself as the dessert. You know, the co-teachers, they provide the meat and potatoes. They're the substance. They're the main part of the lesson. My job is to come up with fun, cool, interesting, new ways to present the material and to review it. And so to kind of shake things up. Because I'm not bound, and neither are you, hopefully, by just the textbook. And, you know, the textbooks have wonderful resources. I will say that. They have great resources, and you should enjoy using them. But don't limit yourself to them. Don't rely on only what the book has. And find a way to meet your co-teacher's needs and expectations. It may be that they want you to do a lot. It may be that they want you to do a little. Whatever they desire. You're a guest in their classroom at their school, and you need to come to terms with them so there's no conflict.
You've said it perfectly well. Yeah, really, it's the co-teachers, you need them on your side, okay? Be diplomatic, be courteous, respectful. So just be very, very careful of that, because you don't want to have someone that you do not get on well with in your class. The students will pick it up, then you've got problems, okay? Good luck. Right, okay, very quickly, students' language errors. I go about it different ways. I'll pick up little common performance errors going on in the class, and then I'll make up a little activity to try and assist, guide that they move away from those type of errors. Again, I don't tell them what the error is on the whiteboard, just tap on it, and they puzzle it out for themselves. Okay? And they can do it. They can do it. If they keep on struggling, I will ask them to go to other groups and ask. If they still struggle, then I might intervene. But I keep my co-teachers away from it, because they will just want to give all the answers. And the student's not learning. Okay? So that's what I say to the co-teachers. Don't spoon feed them. Just help, let them sort it out themselves. We learn from making our own mistakes. That's the bottom line. Right, students, varying levels of confidence, you're going to get that. Okay, so you've got to design your activities and your strategies on how to bring them in as well. I think I've talked enough about this today. Students, varying levels of motivation. And let me say this to you now. If your students have a motivational problem, it's because of you. Your quality of lessons. I say again, it's because of you. Okay? So work on the quality of your lessons. And there's enough experts here. Call me, email me, I will gladly help you. I don't have motivational problems with my students. And if there are, I quickly bring them into whatever activity is going on. So, yes, you might want to point a finger at that student, but there's 4 of them pointing back at you. Okay? That's the bottom line. Okay? I'm sorry, I don't accept it if it's a student problem. It's you've got to design something that's innovative, creative, fun, and engaging. Simple as that. Right, okay, Google Translate. Some teachers from other schools have said, hey, but why don't you allow Google Translate in your classes? Because we use them anywhere outside on the streets. I say, yes, that is absolutely true. It's a quick fix. I say, but you are the English teacher. You must be guiding your students with the English sentence constructions. So that's my answer to Google Translate. Okay? I don't let my students use it. Because first of all, Google hasn't sorted that Mandarin English situation out. Okay, it's still very complex. And secondly, it's a quick fix for it. Okay, I say, write the sentence down. Let me see what you're thinking. Let me see what you're writing. And then I can help you. And also, don't let them go to the co-teachers, because the co-teachers will just give them the whole answer. Okay, whole sentence. Let them think it out. Bring it to you. And work with your student. That's why you're the English teacher. That's why you've been brought here. That's why you are the best of the best. Do your job. Right? Lastly, your attitude towards preparation, presentation, the students will watch you and they will gauge you. What you give your students is what you're going to get back from them. That's as simple as that. Right, so I'm going to ask you, what type of teacher are you? I'd like you to think about that for a minute. I'm not going to ask you to say that aloud, but I want you to now ask yourself the question, who are you and what type of teacher do you want to be in Taiwan? That's why we're here. Just think about it very quickly. Question also, I'm going to come to that just now. Thursday's lesson with Lena and I. I've told you what to do, or rather what not to do. You will see page 139. Let me just check 139. I'm doing what is called a CLIL lesson for you with Lena. Is it? Yeah, it is. But if you turn to, sorry, if you turn to page 135. That is a 135. 135 is a very detailed CLIL lesson plan. I say very detailed. I don't do it every time like this. I don't make it as detailed, but I put in as much detail in for you to guide you should you want to do CLIL lessons yourself. James, do you do CLIL? No? Okay. But that's a very detailed lesson plan. Lena and I are going to do this on Thursday. And as I say, we've never seen these students before. I really don't know what their level of competency is like. But I've done it with my own students, grade 8s, countryside school students. We are going to city students. Okay, so I'm hoping, but we'll see. So between Lena and I, we're going to have to dig deep with our own little strategies. But I'd like you to just read through that lesson plan on your own, in your own time, and go through the worksheets, which is a build-up to the lesson which we're going to be doing for Thursday. We're going to see each other again Thursday anyway for the lesson. We're going to present it in the afternoon, 2:30. Thursday afternoon we continue with CLIL. I'm very passionate about CLIL. I love CLIL. I think it is the next best thing to iPhones. And I think we can make a success of English in Taiwan through CLIL. Okay, so I hope I can convince you Thursday. And if you ever need to contact me, there's my email address. Okay, I will gladly assist. Just please tell me who you are and where I met you. And lastly, are there any questions that you may have? Okay, if not, you can always ask me to answer. And thank you for your first session with me. And may you have an enjoyable lunch today. Thank you.